Yeah. You know what it is. Another episode of that Victory Talk podcast. A lot of stuff going on. We got a new regime in office. He just got sworn in. He dropping coin. He dropping meme coins, fake money, all that shit, man. We're gonna talk. I brought my richest friend to talk about how y'all can get rich too. Of the in the new regime, the new administration. Let's get it. Yeah. Get your notepad out, bitch. Because we talking about victory on the Victory Talk podcast. This is episode 176. Let's get it. We got special guests. I'm going to introduce them in a minute, man. But, you know, first of all, I'm your host, Big Brandon Carter, King Keto, Gymnasium Jesus, Jesus de Lazio para miente. And I'm joined by the best producer in the game, the homie Nima. Let's go. Super excited. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody been a producer as good as you since Harvey Weinstein, man. You like the podcast Harvey Weinstein.
I take that as a compliment.
It is, man. He did some impressive things. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we also joined by Minovia. You know what it is. She's doing your super chats, reading them, kicking out all the haters. You come here talking crazy, you're going to get fucking banned, exiled forever, right? And she's Latina, so you know it's in her DNA to ruin men's lives. And, you know, she doesn't get to do that to the big dog, right? But she's got it. You're her outlet. She will ban. She got an itchy trigger finger. All right, you know what I'm saying? With it's hovering around the ban button. All right, don't talk crazy. Just be cool. Beginning of the week, man. You're gonna start your week off being weird. Chill out. All right. I'd be remiss if Nima, we got some sponsors for this episode.
Really? After 176 episodes, finally.
We got some sponsors. First sponsor is the newsletter Big Money Methods. Is one of the links in the description. I don't know what number, who gives a fuck. You'll find it. Click that link and then put your email in here, your best email, and then twice a week. Dos Weeko. You're going to get articles on methods to help you get big money written by your fearless leader, the king of ketosis, right? One of my top sales guys, the homie Christopher, and my top copywriter, Scene. I know it's supposed to be spelled Sean, but phonetically, that's Scene. All right. If you want to be called Sean around me, you got to have a W in your name. You heard? You know how it goes. All right. But we write dope shit, help you get big money, man. Subscribe to that shit. Also, there's a product Neiman and I've been working on for a while. We've been working on this for a while behind the scenes. All right. Because listen, when you start, you know, other guys will tell you, how do I get girls and all that shit, right? This ain't for you, right? This ain't for you. This for the motherfucker who got their money, muscle, and mindset right? Because once you really start balling, you in good shape. You know what I'm saying? You a strong young man. Every bitch is gonna be you. Every bitch's dream. You Prince motherfucking Charming, right? The ballers ain't. How do I get Riz? Bitch ass up, right? The ballers are like, how do I keep these hoes away from me? There's too many hoes. No mas chicas, por favor. No mas culo. No mas. And that's why we developed Thot Repellent. Thot Repellent is the easy to apply spray that'll keep the hoes away. So you just apply this to your body, and for 8 to 12 hours, you'll be able to repel. How many hoes does it repel?
Right now, we tested for up to 30.
Up to 30
Depends
hoes.
On the proximity, though.
Yeah,
and how many ballers are
proximity.
In the... Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you can spray this. So, for like me, I got to bathe in this shit before I go outside, man. You know what I'm saying? You can also spray it around your home and have like a perimeter. right? Because if I didn't spray this around my home, it'd be like the end of I Am Legend when the zombies was coming in Will Smith's crib. That's what it'd be like, but it'd be hoes, bitches with tattoos on their neck and shit. This was specifically genetically engineered by a team of Iranian scientists.
The good ones.
The good ones, the friendly ones. The friendly, not the ones who doing that bullshit. The friend, not the ones that Boris Yeltsin is tripping about. These are the Iranian scientists get a bad rap. Some of them are doing good things, like helping us put together Thot Repellent. And it's genetically engineered to only repel the DNA of thots, sluts, hoes, skanks, skeezers, scallywags, and Jezebels. Oh, we just added hood rats. Hood rats, now hood rats will be kept away too. All right. All your super chats go towards the development of Thot Repellent. It's not going to be this big, pause. We're going to have travel sizes. Because if you take this on TSA, it's like weapon of mass destruction. You know? I don't know if you can laugh at that, Nima. And comes from Iran. No, chill. All right. But we're going to have TSA friendly sizes. Right. This way you can when you're abroad, you can also keep away those. And we got a theme song. I'm going to play the theme song real quick. All your super chats. The Thot Repellent theme song. All right. There's a real product. It's really coming out. What happened?
Bitches be tripping. Hoes never act right.
Hoes never act right.
Gotta stop the thoughts.
Gotta stop the thoughts.
Fucking up your life.
Sing it.
There are some good women, but some of them are not.
Some of them are not.
That's why you need repellent to keep away the thoughts.
You gotta keep away the thoughts.
You need Thot Repellent.
All your super chats are gonna go towards this product.
Keep away the thoughts.
So we can get it in
keep
your
away the thoughts.
balling or if you plan on balling. These hoes are gonna be trying to get pregnant on purpose, fishing condoms out of the toilet.
The thoughts, to keep away the thoughts, to keep away the thoughts.
I had to go back to Chicago to my old church to get the choir to sing this for y'all.
They take you off your grind, spend all of your cash,
All your cash.
take up all your time.
Yeah.
All you get is ass.
all you get.
Just a spray will keep thoughts away. Spray it on your face, spray it on your crotch, cause you need Thot Repellent to keep away the thoughts. You need Thot Repellent.
We're gonna release this on Valentine's Day if we get enough super chats. If it's not out on Valentine's Day, it's your fault. All right, blame yourselves. You could have made it happen.
You need Thot
You're gonna need this.
to keep away the thoughts, to keep
Here comes the bridge. Listen.
Keep away the hoes. They got OnlyFans. Keep away the hoes with a baby dance.
That's right.
Bitches with purple hair, no money in the bank. Bitches who try to fuck, even though that pussy stank.
Every guy's got a same pussy story. It never ends with him not fucking anyway. Because once you're there, what you gonna do? You drove all the way to New Jersey, and you're not gonna do it. No OnlyFans.
Keep away the hoes with a baby dance. You need
Thot Repellent, guys. All right. All your super chats go towards the All right. Now it's time to introduce our guests. I got a lot of rich friends. Some of them are richer than me. The richest among them is the homie Tom Cruz. What up, player?
How's it going, man?
What's going on, man?
Man, we're just chilling.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on the podcast.
Man, good,
Always interesting. See the things that come out of your mouth.
Yeah, pause. We just released a video. Y'all need to go watch it. Where Tom bought a new Lamborghini. He spent like $700,000 on a Lamborghini. Something light, nothing, light work. And then my boy Wade pulled up in the Aston. And then I jumped in Tom's $5 million yacht and we raced to a restaurant to see how you can get around Miami faster. Go check out that video. But Tom, the reason I wanted you to come on is it's a new year, right? New administration. Nima, do you know we elected a new, I think you call them kings where you're from.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, yes. So we elect our kings, so you know, right?
I think you call it democracy, right?
Yeah,
we don't have
this thing called democracy. It's pretty cool. I fuck with it. And we got a new leader, new regime. So I wanted to, Tom, man, under the new regime during the new year, how are you thinking about income generation?
Yeah, I mean, my thing, if the audience doesn't know, I do Section 8 properties. So that's been my strategy for the last 9 years now. And that's going to be continually what I'm going to continue to keep buying more and more Section 8 properties. The big thing that Trump will cut moving forward, if not this week, is going to be the housing for illegal migrants. All the sanctuary cities. Obviously, they're just trying to get rid of as many of those people as possible. Yeah. I don't really rent to anybody that doesn't have status. So that doesn't really affect Section 8 as a whole. There's 8 million people on the Section 8 program. So it's not really a concern unless they want 8 million people evicted overnight. So it's not something they can cut overnight. But as far as my strategy, I'm buying anywhere from 5 to 10 properties per month still. Jesus. I'm buying in 4 different states. So there's never ending amount of inventory for the poor. Yeah. That's what's up. What's up, man. So or do you call them broke boys? The broke boys, poor boys. We got a lot of different acronyms, a lot of different pseudonyms for them. Listen, Tom is my Section 8 real estate mentor, right? Because I didn't buy any real estate before I met Tom, but then he was telling me about Section 8. And I was like, yo, I need to fuck with this, man. So I started buying Section 8 properties under Tom's tutelage. And we're doing a free training on Monday where we'll show y'all how to get Section 8 properties, even if you like not balling and shit, right? We'll show you how to do it and you can start making money, because it seems to me, Tom, no matter what happens, Section 8 seems to be, it's recession proof. It's kind of impermeable to like every adversity that other. I mean, war, pandemics, doesn't really matter. Government shutdowns, because Section 8 will continue to keep making the payments, to the investors. Even during government shutdowns. Debt ceilings, we've gone through it all. Wow. There's never been a lapse in payment the entire time. Wow. That's why it's so bulletproof. That's why, I mean, during 2020, during the pandemic, we didn't have any lapses in payment. A lot of people were struggling to pay their mortgage because their tenants couldn't pay the rent. We didn't have any. It was actually our best year ever. Was 2020. Because there's more people who needed that Section 8, or what? Because tenants couldn't move out, so we had almost no vacancy. They couldn't go anywhere, so they stayed. Right. Section 8 continued to pay, and we just cashed out. All right. So for the people who don't know, man, can you break down how Section 8 works? Sure. So Section 8 is a federal program. Basically, they help people that are below their poverty line, which I think is like $60,000 per year in the U.S. if you're a single individual, in most states. And if they give you a voucher, so like let's say you're poor, you would come to me and be like, hey, Tom, I have a Section 8 voucher. I need a 3-bedroom property. I'd be like, cool, here's a 3-bedroom property. Do you like it? And you'd be like, yeah. And then we do an inspection on the property, right? So Section 8 comes out, they inspect the property, make sure that it's in really good shape and that it's going to pass their guidelines. They pass the inspection, you move in, and then let's say the rent's $1,500, you might pay $40 out of that $1,500. Really? And the government pays the difference. So that's in a nutshell how Section 8 works. Wow. All right. So now a lot of people will be like, somebody said this to me the other day. It was like, man, I would do Section 8, but I don't want to deal with motherfucking crackheads, junkies in my crib. So shitty tenants exist everywhere, Section 8 or non-Section 8, right? So it doesn't really matter. You have to think of Section 8 as a payment method, right? So if you're a regular non-Section 8 tenant, you're going to be paying with a credit card or cash or check every month. Section 8 just pays with Uncle Sam's wallet, right? That's the only difference between them. So in both scenarios, if you don't screen the tenant and make sure they're not a crackhead or have a felony background or have a 300 credit score, you're gonna have a really bad time. But once you understand how to screen tenants and how to make sure that they don't get into your property, then it's a lot easier. It's a lot more passive. It's passive. Yeah, legit passive. But if you choose bad tenants because you get desperate, I have that sometimes too. People don't want to pay the $500 mortgage out of pocket. So like, we need to put a tenant in there right now. Then they get a shitty tenant that's going to be selling drugs out of the property, or, you know, is going to bring a bunch of drama there. And that's what you want to avoid.
What's the funniest story you got about a tenant?
Oh man. I've had tenants. The most recent one, I've had sad stories and kind of funny stories. The most recent ridiculous story was the guy I was telling you about. Turns out he actually wasn't replacing or fixing the roof. He was stealing power.
He was stealing power.
He was stealing power from his neighbor.
Okay.
So he was an electrician, or street electrician, I guess. And he was running a cable from the next door neighbor and trying to get it into the power, I guess, meter, wherever it is on the top of the house. And when he was up there, he slipped and fell, broke, I think something, a vertebrae in his back, became paralyzed. And he's still on Section 8. This all happened like in the last week or so. So what ended up happening with him is that
paralyzed.
He became fully paralyzed, neck down, full quadriplegic. Fuck. I think it was like C1 vertebrae. And his brother told me, or told my property manager. So the silver lining is now the government pays 100% of the rent.
Shout out to him, man.
So
basically, if your tenants fuck themselves up bad, it works out better.
So it's terrible to say, but the worse financial situation they're in, the better for you as the investor, because the government will support it more. Yes,
it's the only business where like you want to get the broke peoples in there.
So he was paying like $210 per month before, but now that he's on full like disability, and he was already on Social Security, so now it's the government pays 100%.
Shout out to that brother. That's fantastic. All right.
But I mean, I've had tenants get evicted and their dogs got left behind, and they ended up tearing up the whole house. I've had tenants where they got drunk, passed out, and lit themselves on fire with a cigarette in their mouth and burned down the whole house around them. I mean, I have
like 700 units.
I have 740 houses in 4 states. So there's always, something going on. I have tenants that get incarcerated. Sometimes I've bailed out tenants because their rent was so high. I didn't want them to lose their voucher. I have bailed out tenants like on like minor drug possession and stuff. So there's stuff like that I'll chip in and help.
But I see you chilling all the time. Like you all, like we do shit on your boats. We hang out. You make the most money out of all my friends, but you're like you work the least. How is that is that because the nature of
I mean, there's a couple of reasons for that. One, it's just the way I design my life, right? I've always been a lazy fuck. I hate working, and it's just something that I wanted to avoid doing at all costs. So Section 8 was kind of the catalyst to that, because I knew that it's a basic human need. So you're going to need it. It's a subscription, which is guaranteed income. And you have all the leverage. People want a roof over their head for a long time. And Section 8 has no expiration date. So you have people on there for 20 years. So that combined with the right software and the right people to manage it makes it really passive. So the only time you'll ever see me working on my portfolio is maybe 3 to 5 hours on Friday. So on Fridays, I have my Zoom meeting with all my property managers. So that's the only time they really have a chance to like tell me about major issues. And really the only 3 things they talk about: if somebody dies, then I have to be involved. If there's a major insurance claim, I need to be involved. Or if there's something that happened with a property that's outside of what I empower them to like pay for, then we'll talk about that. We talk about it for a couple hours every Friday morning. And then the other few hours is going to be acquisitions. I still, choose my own properties. I still sign the contract. So
that's what I was gonna ask you. Now it's easy because you have a software that allows you to. We're going to show that software in a minute. But let me ask you, so when I buy my properties, and this is something I've been meaning to ask you, there was still like shit I had to do. Right. You still do all that shit? Like as far as,
so you bought properties with seller financing, right? So seller financing allowed you to buy your first property, I think, with like $2,500 down.
$2,500 down. I bought my first property because it was seller financing.
And I started the same way that you did, because I didn't have, I didn't have a ton of cash to start.
I got cash. I know. Just cheap.
All right. So you did it because you wanted to keep the risk low. I did it because I had to, right? I had no other alternative. So now it's easier because now I just pay cash.
Oh, you just buy.
So we buy properties. We'll do inspections on them still, but for the most part, we're not doing any type of financing. Occasionally, I'll still do what's called DSCR, like commercial financing. But the vast majority of the properties that I'm buying now are just cash. But
you still have to hook up like power and all.
My property managers do that.
You don't do none of that shit.
No.
And then they have like your cards or something.
Yeah, so we have a corporate property management credit card. I do one per state. So I have a property management company in every state. So they're the ones that manage it.
Now you at this point you have your own property management company.
I have full-time property managers, correct?
Full-time property managers. You manage property for other people?
No.
Okay, just
I only do it for myself. Just the liability and the headache. I mean, because you only make 10% on the rent.
Yeah.
So if let's say I was managing someone else's property and they're making $1,500 a month in rent, we only get $150. And it's just not. You have to have thousands of units to make
for it to make sense
to move the needle for me.
Yeah, because you are. How much money you make per month?
Right now, I make about $1 million per month net income with the Section 8 program. Net per month.
That's after
and then
paying property management and
that's after I still have some debt service. Most of my properties are paid off, so that's why I net so much.
Yeah.
But that, and then I make another 150 to 170,000 per month from education, from software, from mentorships. So typically about 1.2 million per month net.
1.2 million per month. That's not bad, man.
Yeah.
That's not bad. So even though you teach it, you still make the majority of your money from doing it.
Yeah, I've been teaching for about 2 years.
Yeah.
It's something fun. It's something that I enjoy. I like the software business a lot. It's super passive. But I mean, obviously the goal eventually is to have my education and software and mentorship exceed real estate.
Yeah.
But for now I enjoy doing both.
That's what's up, man. Yo, guys, if you want to learn more about this, man, we're doing a free training. The link is in the description. It's the first link. You need to hop on that. It's going to be Monday. It's going to be live. It's going to be me and Tom. We're going to walk you through how I got my first properties, and we're going to show Tom's going to break down a bunch of shit. Now you say you like the software.
Yeah.
Can you show us the software?
Yeah, sure.
Where do let me,
it's app.section8pro.com.
let me just go ahead.
Go ahead and do that.
Oh, you know what?
I'll log in with your login.
Yeah.
App.section8pro.com.
I don't want everyone to see my fucking login. Yeah, remember me. Remember the big homie. All right, cool. So you can put it, Nima can put it on the screen and you can control everything with this. So walk them through this, man. What are we looking at?
So this is Section 8 Pro. This is software that actually I originally built for me and my team. And then when I started doing the mentorship, I made it publicly available to students. It's going to show you all the most profitable counties in the country. This updates every 6 hours based on the units that are available. So you can actually see what Section 8 pays per bedroom count. So like 4 bedrooms in this county pays $1,300, almost $1,400 per month. That's one of the big features. Being able to actually see which properties are available and how much they cash flow. So we use this the most, being able to say, let's say I want to make $1,000 per month and I want to look at properties up to $100,000. You can search for those and then boom, like here's one, $84,000. This thing makes a little over $1,000 per month after expenses. And
how much they went for it? I can't see.
It's 84,000 at the top. Yeah. So, and obviously if the property looks that good from the exterior, more than likely on the inside. And you can see here, this is where Section 8 wins. FMR stands for fair market rent. As you can see here, the fair market rent here is $1,700. So most people would not pay $1,700 for this 1,300 square foot house, in most markets, but Section 8 pays above that. So that's going to be, allow you to do it.
What was that? Was that net income? Was that including the mortgage?
Yes, that's net. That's after everything.
Okay.
Correct. And that's assuming, I'll have to go back and look at what the assumption was here. Just depends. So this is with a 20% down payment. Let's say that you wanted to put 5% down if you did seller financing. So at 4,200, your monthly net goes to what's that? 921.
Still really good.
You're still doing pretty good, even with low down payments. And that's after a property management fee of 170, property taxes, insurance. That's net of everything. So that's how powerful it is, because you're able to get into it for a cheaper price, but net a much higher value.
Now, someone show them what I thought was cool. How you can. This is how we found my first properties is the seller financing option.
Yeah. So if you come up here to the filter down here and you click on seller financing, it actually allows you to filter all the properties in the country that allow seller financing. And we do that because we pay for this data. So we pay for Realtor.com, Zillow, and Redfin. And now we also scrape Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and apartment pads. So we grab the data, and for any description that says they accept seller financing, we grab that and then we add it to the directory.
So how much would you have to put down?
So 2,500 to 5,000 is typical down payment on seller financing.
And that's so dope, man.
And that's no banks involved, no income verification, no tax returns, no hoops to jump through.
Yeah.
It's basically like you have a property, you want to get rid of it. You're don't want to put it on MLS. You don't want to put it on realtor.com or Zillow. You don't want to deal with a real estate agent. You put it on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
We grab it. We put it into our directory. I reach out to you and say, hey, Brandon, I see you have a property. I'll give you $5,000 now. We can do, whatever terms we agree on. And then I make the monthly payments to you.
How much somebody need to get into for Section 8? Like, what's the minimum you need to get into?
I would say 7 to 8K is a good
7 to
starting
8K.
point, because that's going to give you a few $1,000s for the down payment, a few $1,000s to, get the property ready. There's going to always be some minor
There's always
repairs.
something. I had to do some shit with my property.
Yeah. So I would say between 7 and 8K is a good starting point.
Yeah. Because even though I put down for the first one, I remember I put down 2,500, but then there was shit.
Yeah, there's gonna be stuff
like
cleaning,
somebody had stole some of the fucking. They stole the copper.
Yeah, so there's always gonna be something that needs to be fixed. It's very rare gonna do a seller finance deal that's 100% ready to go, right? So,
yeah. What criteria do you use to evaluate a property? Like, show us on the thing. Like, what makes a good Section 8 property?
So what I look for right off the bat is I look at the roof. So you could see here, even in this really shitty picture, the roof on this property looks like it's brand new. Right. You can see it's like very light. It's not all faded. There's not a bunch of different shingle colors on there. I'm also looking at the price, $75,000. I like this fair market rent of almost $1,700 here. Here's your monthly payment, $380. That's with 20% down. So I also look for high bedroom count. So 3 or 4 bedrooms is a really good starting point.
Why is that?
Section 8 pays based on bedrooms. So if you go and you get a 1 or 2 bedroom, you're going to get substantially less rent.
Gotcha.
So these are the big factors when you're looking.
You also look at crime in the area, right?
I look at crime. Yeah, you want to make sure that you're not buying in an area that's a war zone.
Can you show them that? The software does that?
Yeah. So let me pop back over to, you can actually do it on a per. So if you come in a property lookup, you can type in, let's say, any address you want in the country. We'll just do Worcester. This is one over that we've looked at recently. So it shows you violence, murder, rapes, and then it also shows you how much Section 8 pays per bedroom. So see how like a 1 bedroom pays $738, but a 4 bedroom is $1,300.
Wow.
So basically it pays twice as much. Obviously, a 4 bedroom is going to cost more than a one bedroom, but not that much.
Not
maybe 20K.
that much more. Yeah.
So for a 1 bedroom, it might be a $50,000 1 bedroom apartment versus a $70,000 or $80,000 4 bedroom house.
Yeah. That's fucking dope, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now you have this, and you have 700 of these.
740.
740.
Correct.
My fault. Of these motherfucking houses, and you put a poor boy in each one of them.
We try to, yes. Ideally, poor elderly. Elderly is the best.
Yeah, tell me what makes the best Section 8 tenant?
You obviously want the lowest headache potential, right? So the elderly, for the most part, are not partying. They don't have pets.
Yeah.
They're not moving out for education or for careers. They stay put.
Yeah.
And average age in the US, especially in that category, is around 80, 81 is what we find, blended between male and female. So you get a good 7 to 10 years out of them before it's time to move on. Before they meet, before they go up to the big house. Exactly. But you can also,
Section 8, that's Section 8 house in the sky. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yes. And also their vouchers can be inherited. So if they have family that's over the age of 18 that also fits the criteria, it can go with them.
And there's more people who want vouchers than they have vouchers to give.
Oh yeah, the demand for Section 8 in most of the country is insane.
Wow.
So if you try to go on Section 8 right now in, let's say, North Carolina, where I'm from, you're waiting minimum 3 years to get a voucher to get a free house.
I saw some shit in New York where motherfuckers would wait like 15 years.
Oh yeah, 10, 15 years easy.
Yeah.
And they somehow still need it after 15 years, which is a crazy part.
Yeah. They never came up, man.
They never came up.
Hey, man, that's what it is. We got to keep them from rioting somehow.
Yeah.
But you're helping out.
I try to provide as much housing to the populace as possible.
Yeah. If I was you, man, if I wanted to do like some PR shit, like, man, I provide affordable housing.
There you go.
For low income families.
I need to. It doesn't play as well because no one really cares.
Yeah, no, you say, man, we putting the poor motherfuckers in homes. Making money off the poor.
There you go.
But really, you make money off the rich. Because
I make money off the American taxpayer.
Yeah, the American taxpayer. So while you motherfuckers is tripping off taxes being high, Tom is excited because he's gonna get some more of that bread. Out
of my little over $1 million in net income, only $70,000 comes from the tenants.
Wow.
Yeah, let that sink in. So about 900 some change comes from the government. The rest is all tenant paid.
Damn. That's what's up, man. So every time you pay taxes, just know you giving it to Tom and now me. You know what I'm saying? Not as much. Tom's getting a bigger percentage, But this is so dope. Like, I used to be so excited about the stock market and even crypto and shit like that, because I could do it from my phone.
Yeah.
Right. Now, this is a little bit more work up front, but it gives you money every fucking month.
It's consistent. And also, you can get to a formula where you can just do it on your phone, right?
Yeah.
You get enough properties, let's say 5 properties in one area with a good property manager, and you have your software that manages all the maintenance and all the leases and everything. I got to the point probably around 40 units where I wasn't really involved. What I would do is this. I would wake up every morning before I had my software. I would look at Zillow, pick out the properties that I like, screenshot or send the link to my agent, say, hey, go look at these properties. He'd send me a breakdown on which ones he likes. And then we just make offers. And then from there, that was it. And then he'd put the property under contract. It'd go to, to inspection, pass inspection. He would review the inspections. Then it goes to the closing table.
That's amazing.
So you can really not automate. I hate using the word automate because nothing in real estate is automated.
Yeah.
You still need to be paying attention to it. You still need to be involved with the property management team, but you can get it to the point like where it's less than 5 hours a week.
Yeah. The only real like legit passive income is if you bought like a dividend stock and it was just pay. You just left it alone and it was paying you. That's the only real passive. You don't have to look at it.
But to make any meaningful amount of income there, you have to have millions, right?
Yeah, it's like 3% a year.
Yeah, and even then it fluctuates. It's not really consistent. I mean, like last year was great. It was at what 5.25%.
Yeah.
Now it's already down like low 4s. So
yeah,
it's very hit or miss.
You got to have like millions for it to be. You would have to have millions to make the kind of money you make.
Oh yeah,
yeah, like tens of millions, maybe like 100 millions.
100 millions. Yeah.
And fuck that. You know what I'm saying?
At that point, you could just buy actual assets that will create a lot more than 5% in returns.
Yeah. I think we got a super chat. Let's take a break for some super chats.
We have Luca. Hey, King Keto, which business model do you think will not be replaced by AI? Is online fitness personal trainer safe with technology growth?
Yes, I think it is safe because, if you remember the election, right? We just had an election. I don't know if you heard about it. And I was getting text messages from both sides and I ignored them all. Right. But an online trainer, he's going to hit you up every day to make sure that you're fucking following your shit. Right. So really with online training, you're selling accountability, right? Because they can get a diet plan or workout plan from anywhere. Right. It's always been, they can get it from a magazine, a book, and anything works. Right. So online, but it's difficult to ignore a human that you paid money for, right? So online training is not going to be, if anything, it just makes our job easier. Like when our students were able to come up with workout programs, I teach my students how to use AI to their advantage. So they come in with workout programs and diet plans in fucking minutes instead of like complete with grocery lists and everything. And I tell my students how to do it, that they get it to clients, but their job is to make sure they do it. Because the clients, if they're fucking reasonably intelligent, they can do that. They're not, but they could, but they won't do it, right? And another thing is the number one industry, this is why I'm so hype about real estate, especially Section 8 real estate, is that's the one thing that you can't, houses, right? You can't have an AI house, right? People still need to live under a real physical roof. That's why I feel like this business model is impermeable. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't touch it.
And I think that's true. I mean, because AI automation, regardless of what really happens, you're not going to replace low-income housing. And the demand for it, until they stop making poor people, like it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. If anything, here's the thing. AI is going to make more poor people.
Yeah.
Because the bullshit jobs are going away first. Like I know people who are, had their setters and closers who are replacing their setters with AI. As we right now.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know people who have cut down their staff of copywriters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe they have it because the shit's not 100% good enough I haven't seen anything 100% good enough.
Yeah. It's always, you can tell.
Yeah.
I have people like send me emails to the AI and I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah, chill out,
like,
man. I can read that shit. You know what I'm saying? Human beings don't talk like that. That's how robots talk, right? I don't care what you're using, Claude, Sonnet, all that shit. Don't give a fuck, but it helps them, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It helps so like now I only got like one copywriter where I used to have a team, but I'm sure he's utilizing AI and he's fucking just making it modifying, right? So there's going to be more poor people.
And they all need to live somewhere.
They all going to need homes.
And we're providing it.
They're all going to need homes, man. I mean, it's really going to be a crisis. Like I really feel like you got 3 to 5 years to really come up. as a regular guy, because there are going to be a lot of industries that are going to get affected by this shit in a negative capacity as far as like jobs. Because I know, man, if I could get a robot Nima, I'll replace Nima with a Tesla bot right now. You know what I'm saying? But I got to get it to laugh at my stupid jokes. That's really what I pay Nima.
He's the last track.
Yeah. Oh, I'm doing good. Yeah. Encouragement. You know what I'm saying? So real estate is the best one, and Section 8 is like just the safest one, right? If y'all want to learn more about that, we're doing a free training. Tom and I'm gonna be on it Monday at 8
p.m.
8 p.m. The link is in the description. Sign up for that. You do not want to miss out on that shit. What else we got?
We have 3Ds Venue. How you keep motivated even though you already have everything?
That's a better question for Tom. Because I be thinking I have everything until Tom pull up with the $5 million boat. Or I swear to God, I hit Tom up. I was like, man, what you doing that? Man, I'm about to buy this Lambo, man. It's a pain in the ass. I'm like, it's a good problem to have. You know what I'm saying? Don't you got 2 Lambos? And then it was like, this motherfucker got 4 Rolls Royces.
Yeah.
4 Rolls Royces, 2 Lambos, a Rari, and what else? What else?
McLaren.
And the McLaren.
And then the new G Square Mercedes.
And the new fucking G Square Benz. And the Rover.
I have 10 cars.
He has 10 cars. Tom got everything. Tom, how do you stay motivated under those circumstances?
That's a good question.
Because I'm thinking you know, like it takes a lot for me to feel broke. But when I kick it with you, I feel Tom was like, I only see you just watch. I'm like, hey, I gotta have something to keep up. You know what I'm saying? I got like
I've never said that to you.
I got like 20 watches. I gotta like at least show that I'm fucking I deserve to be.
I like to watch. Yeah. Man, I think that I get asked this quite a bit, and I should have a better answer.
Tell us the truth, man.
No, I'm trying to tell you the truth.
I don't want a better answer. I want the real shit.
I think that it's inherent. I think that for the most part, I was born with it. I've never been the type to be like, oh, I need to go read some motivational quotes or get inspiration from somewhere. Yeah. Like from as early as I can remember, middle school, even like I used to sell candy in middle school. Like I used to sell paintball guns in high school. I used to have a marketing service, and like I've always wanted to be rich. Like that was my goal. Like I saw my parents work. I saw them like being told no, that we can't go on vacation because they couldn't get off work. So I have always been motivated to get rich. Now to answer this question, how do I stay motivated? I never stopped being motivated. It's always been kind of, and I know it's kind of a bullshit cliche answer, but it's just always been something that like I can't wake up and just chill in bed or just like go jump on the yacht and spend 12 hours all day on it. Right.
That would drive me crazy.
I feel when I'm not being productive or not running up the scoreboard, I just feel like a piece of shit.
It sounds like you enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, I do. Yeah. I mean, no one has ever grown up and be like, I want to be a Section 8 investor, right? I just determined early on where the value, gap was. Yeah. I realized that I could arbitrage. I was like, holy shit, I'm buying these properties for 60 grand and these fuckers are paying $1,500 a month. Like, how is no one exploiting this like to the crazy degree? And I did, to the point where
I wish I knew you back then.
I bought up all the housing in North Carolina in the areas that I wanted to. Then I moved to South Carolina. Then I continued expanding. So to answer this question, as far as what keeps me motivated, there's always someone richer. And I think it's just always cool to just see how far you can really, take it.
Yeah. For me, I just want to push myself. It's not necessarily about the things. It's like just how much of my potential can I bring to the surface? You know? Like that's what I think about, you're from Brazil, right?
I'm from Brazil.
So you're an immigrant.
I am. I moved here. I mean, my mom's from the US. My dad's from Brazil. I was born in Brazil and then grew up from the age of 8 till now.
What age did you move?
8.
It's something about immigrants, man. I feel like a lot of them got a lot of drive. A lot of them, not all of them. I met some fucking hoes in Washington Heights who ain't got no fucking drive, right? But I'm just saying, I meet a lot of them, like Nemo or some other ones, and it's something about it, like they don't take it for granted.
I think that's part of it, and then also, I mean, I had the advantage of like I had both my parents growing up. They're both very supportive. They never like shit on my crazy business making ideas. Like, I mean, I sold everything, dude. I sold from like those made in China, like as seen on TV. Yeah. I sold, like I said, candy. I sold Pokemon cards in middle school. So I sold everything. And they're never like, don't do that. Like, get a job. I mean, they wanted me to go to college. I went to college. I got my degree to keep them happy. Yeah. But it was
you went another path. You went another path.
Yeah.
I think having, you know, if there's one thing that I was lucky with, I had good parents.
Yeah.
Right. And so I didn't see my dad a lot. He lived in the same house when my parents were together, but he was just hustling, working on his business, hustling. And he would travel a lot on business and shit, making deals. And my mom would wake me up at like 5:30 in the morning and walk me to preschool. I was the first motherfucker there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And on the south in the snow. And I think that like my mom worked on the weekends, so I'd be with my dad on Saturdays.
Yeah.
And I think just seeing their work ethic, it just made an impression on me.
Yeah. I could see that.
You know what else though? So I don't know if I told you this. I grew up on the south side, fucking poor, like where King Von and them is from and shit, right? Really hood. And my dad was struggling. He was working on his business. I got sent away to military school because I got in some trouble. Nothing crazy, just like fights, skipping school, shootouts, you know, little shit. And when I'm in military school, by like age 16, my dad, his business started to fucking take off.
Mm-hmm.
And then and by the time I graduated from high school, he was making $3 million a year.
Yeah.
If you adjust that for inflation back then, right? That's $8 million in today's money a year. And then I went to college. By the time I graduated college, he had fucked it all up and went broke and then killed himself a year after that.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's like, I also saw what happens if you take your foot off the gas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't experience none of the wealth, you know, because we went right back to square one.
Yeah.
You know, I had to help my mom with the mess that he made. But I saw how bad that shit can get too. Yeah, so I saw both sides of it. And I was like, fuck that. I'm not going to end up like the big homie. Nah. That's how I stay motivated. I saw that.
Yeah, I don't have like a rags to riches story like that. It make things a whole lot easier for the story and the content.
Man, that's the only thing he left me was that cool Bruce Wayne ass story.
Yeah,
you know?
I could have very well ended up, like I said, I have very comfortable middle class existence. Yeah. Like I lived in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, right? So I could have easily just been like, oh, let me just go get like a little $100,000 a year job, just chill.
Work at Bank of America.
Work at Bank of America, work at Enterprise. A lot of did that. And no, that just didn't work out.
You just had different ambitions, man. You know? I always say, man, you can't stop somebody with ambition. You can't help somebody without it. You know, fuck that. That's a bar. Well, what else we got?
We have Naz. Any books on making decisions or eliminating options? I'm going to try doing 2 careers for the next 2 months and pick the one I'd rather do.
Whichever one makes more money.
Yeah, man. Which one makes the most money, homie? You know what I'm saying? Just do that shit. You know, and maybe if you have a propensity to something, if you have some sort of, natural inclination to do one of the two, then you take that into account as well. But yeah, man, this ancient Chinese proverb where the man who chases 2 bunnies, he don't get shit for dinner.
Yeah. I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, that's how that
sounds
go.
About right.
Yeah, that's how that go. And so you chasing mad bunnies, man. Right. But I hear like young kids say that because they say, oh man, should I do all this? How did you decide on real estate?
I mean, I kind of fell into it. I mean, I bought a condo to live in, and then 6 months in, I bought a dog. The dog was a bully breed, so they wouldn't allow me to keep him in the condo. Okay. So I ended up just renting the condo and finding another place. Yeah. And it was to a very nice Black lesbian couple. Oh man, shout out to them. Yeah. And they were an amazing first experience from tenants. Mm-hmm. They paid on time. They took better care of the property than I did. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit. Like at the time I was like wholesaling, and I was also doing like marketing. I was doing like web design and stuff. And I was like, I'm making $500 a month over my mortgage, and I don't have to talk to them. I don't see them. Yeah. Anything. They come pull up in their little Subaru, drop off the check, and then I'm done. And I was like, I got to do more of this. So that's in a nutshell, like how I got my first taste of rental income. I didn't start with Section 8. That was an accident as well. After I already had multiple properties, I eventually bought a property, and they told me it was Section 8, and I had to sink or swim and figure it out. Oh, so it was like, I think you told me, you said you said, oh, this is Section 8, and you got to fill out the forms and shit. Yeah. Because I was like, man, I ran out of money. Like I wasn't able to come up with down payments fast enough for the amount of units that I wanted to buy. I was buying like $150,000 properties at the beginning. Right. And traditional financing. Traditional financing and seller financing. Okay. So I would like scrape together my 3.5%, or for a first-time home buyer, live in it for some months and then rent it out. And then I also did seller financing where I put less money down. How old were you when you started doing this? This is mid-20s, 20. It's like out of college.
24,
25.
Yeah, damn. And then when you found that Section 8 with the government paper, you said,
when I said Section 8 and I got the first deposit from them, that was a good experience as well. That was a more elderly couple, and their rent was paid 100% by the government. Because I mean, I had a bunch of units up until then, but it wasn't Section 8. So we still had, no matter how well I screened it, 2 or 3 of those tenants would just pay late, or I'd have to call them myself because I was self-managing. So I made all the mistakes in the book when I started, dude. Like it was bad.
Yeah, that's why y'all need to jump on this call, man. If y'all interested in doing this live call we doing, so you can avoid a lot of mistakes.
That I also want to bring up on the what's it called?
Super chat.
Super chat. I think that a lot of people make this mistake that he did by asking this question as far as any books on making decisions. I think people just get into this analysis paralysis and they want to read a book about every minute detail in their life instead of just like taking action. You know, like you already know the answer to the question on these 2 careers. You just want to further, analyze it and read a whole book or get some other resource on making the decision when you already know the answer. Yeah. So I see that all the time with coaching. Like I have people that want to, start buying properties and they're talking about a property management website or, hey, what logo should I make for my property
that's the worst.
Oh, I can't start until I get like business cards and station. I was like, this is not 1985. Dude. You don't need stationery. What are you talking about? Yeah. Buy the property first and then worry about it.
Nobody gives a fuck about your logo. Nobody gives a fuck about it.
You're not going to have a full-time property manager to start. You're going to have a company. They're already going to be established. Yeah. So just stuff like that. People love putting obstacles ahead of the actual difficult work.
Yeah. Get the money. Get the money. I had that in my online trainers. When they started talking to me about logos, I'd be like, man, don't nobody give a fuck about your logo. Can you help them get in good shape?
Yeah.
Nobody gives a fuck about your logo, your business name,
your t-shirt, LLC. That's my favorite. I need an LLC first.
Yeah. All right.
Like, why?
All right, bro. And if you did need that shit, get that shit this afternoon.
Yeah.
It's not a fucking big deal.
It's going to take you 2 days to set that up.
Yeah, man. And if that was an impediment, right? But it's not, you know what I'm saying? I didn't set up an LLC for my property.
I was sole proprietor for probably the first 2 years.
Yeah, man.
I switched everything into an LLC afterwards.
Fuck that shit.
Focus on the part that actually makes money.
Get the money and then worry about the fucking money problem. You gotta need the problems first.
Yeah, I'm sure you get this all the time. But the taxes.
Oh yeah, what about the taxes?
What about the taxes,
man? Shut the fuck up, man.
I'm making $29,000 a year. What about taxes?
Yo, make some money first, man. The IRS, they'll work with you, man.
Or the gold diggers. They're so worried about gold diggers and taxes.
Yeah, they're so worried about the gold diggers.
I was like, don't worry about that.
Yeah, man. Don't worry about the gold diggers, man.
You got to get some gold to dig first.
Yeah, get some gold to dig. Then you get you some thought repellent. You don't have to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? Just fuck them, like have sex with them. It's okay. It's a part of it. You got to go through that phase.
Yep.
Right?
I believe that.
Yes, you got to experience it. It's a part of being rich, man. If you haven't experienced it,
highly recommend.
Then you'll know. You got to fuck a few gold diggers to know the difference. Out that way. Because you won't even know the difference.
You won't.
Right? How you gonna be a sommelier if you never taste the bad wine? Yeah. How do you know what the good wine is?
So first of all, you start as an advanced som and then a master som.
Yeah.
And you can't be a master until you taste everything else.
You got to taste all of it.
Truth be told. Truth be told.
Dummy. What else is there? Now my girlfriend has to read after me saying that dumb shit.
Insane. We have Players Lounge. If I listen if I listen to your videos in the background while I study for 4 hours, does that still count as deep work?
Hey, sure, man. You know what I'm saying? Listen, sometimes I wish I had a beautiful black man screaming in my ear while I was working. Last, I don't. I think that's might be a key to success, Mr. Lounge. You know what I'm saying? I think you're gonna be fine. Go for it. I like where your head is at. You know what I'm saying? Just keep Brandon Carter on a loop. You know. What else?
Then we have JT Coin Ring says notepad out. Hello, Brandon and chat.
Somebody said Brandon's not. I saw a chat. Someone said Brandon's not from the hood. All right. Hey, man. Yeah, it's cool, man. I'm from the fucking suburbs. Yeah, no, my fault. Southside Chicago is a wonderful place.
Paradise that everyone should visit.
Well, people be excited to move there. It's like, man, when I retire, I'm gonna go to the south side of Chicago.
Or when they're proud of it. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
You haven't gone through anything. I was like, you're right. He grew up in the suburbs.
Hey, that's cool, man. Whatever makes you happy, man. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like that's a way to discredit me, go for it, bro.
His username is DC is a fat motherfucker.
Hey, man. He's gonna be. Listen, man. God bless his soul, man. He's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Really, I got YouTube videos where I'm in the hood. Okay. If you look 8 years ago, like you know what I'm saying, like old YouTube videos, I'm in the hood. Yeah, like fucking 12 years ago and shit. But it's all good. He's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? What else? What else is there? Is that it? All right, cool. What was your experience with gold diggers as you first started getting money? Because you know, how long did it take you to start making like real money in Section 8? Like
what would you consider real money? Because there's real money in North Carolina and there's real money in Miami.
You told me once that you can go ahead and ban him indefinitely. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, if you don't like me, we're gonna help you out, brother. You don't have to worry about it no more. All right, it's all good. You don't have to worry about me no more, man. I'm sorry I ruined your day. It won't happen again. I assure you. What you told me once that 50K was where life starts. First, talk to me about that. 50K a month. 50K a month is where life starts.
50K a month net. That was also based off of me living in, North Carolina, where the cost of living was significantly cheaper than, by God, Miami. Yeah. But I still believe that. I think it's a little bit higher in Miami. Yeah. I think at 50K per month, that's when I saw the first real swings in how I traveled and, how much I was able to like help family and friends and to be able to continue investing while still buying the stuff that I wanted. Yeah. So I mean, at 50,000 a month, you get all of the stereotypical stuff, the $4,000 Lambo payment, the $1 million house and the $10,000 mortgage, still being able to invest 15, 20K, save some for taxes, and then, give the rest away to whoever you want and still have fun. Yeah. So that's kind of where I noticed the biggest shift. After 50,000, it's really all the same up until probably $250,000 a month is what I noticed.
Okay. What changes that between 50K and $250,000 a month? 50K
to $250,000, it felt like after $250,000 is when I really noticed the next big shift, because now you're affording boats, like significant boats and the stuff that comes with the yachts and payments. That's when I got my first yacht, was around $250,000 or $300,000 per month was when I got my first yacht. I don't fly private, but I could very easily. It's one of those things that's just not worth it to me.
Yeah, it's not worth it, right?
The main reason for me is that I don't have to be anywhere, right? I'm not going to meetings. I don't have to be in 3 cities in the same day. So for me, it was just never worth spending the 80,000 round trip or 80,000 round trip to like Vegas and back, right?
I think about that because when I fly first class, but I fly commercial, right? And if you got clear and pre-check, it's like this. Sometimes I barely stop walking to the gate.
I mean, it can still be a headache, and I get it, but it's just like, okay,
it's cool.
I have all day to get there, so and I'm still on my phone or on laptop or anything, so
it's all good.
That's really the big splurge that I really don't blow out on. I would have possibly gotten a jet for tax purposes if I had a business application, like if I was going to go to a new state to go look at new properties.
We was talking about that at one point.
Yeah, but I was go to Ohio to go look at properties. Yeah. I don't want to be Ohio in general, so I'm not going to get a plane to go to Ohio. But from 50,000 to $250,000, I just noticed that you're not really buying the $10 million house there. You're not buying a really nice plane there. You're not buying a crazy yacht there. That's kind of the next threshold. And I would say that's probably at 300 to $1 million is where all the crazy, like what the fuck are you doing kind of shit comes in. Yeah. I mean, at 100,000, at 200,000, you're still doing really well.
Oh yeah.
It's just, I did a lot more like philanthropy. Yeah. So I started like a foundation. I'm doing like a nonprofit foundation for financial literacy. I started doing that last year. Just a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah. What I think $50,000 a month is a good
goal.
It's a good goal. How many units do you think you need to get that on Section 8?
I would say 75 to 80.
75 to 80. And how much money would that cost you?
I mean, if you figure, let's say conservatively 10,000 each, you're probably at 800,000.
800,000.
700, 800,000.
Yeah, you can do that. How long did it take you to get that?
To get to 50?
Yeah.
2 years.
2 years. Well, because you were doing some creative stuff.
I did not put $10,000 down per property, right? I was putting way less. And then eventually I also got partners. So I started scaling with other investors. I raised money and then I eventually bought them out. So that's how I was able to scale so fast. Yeah. Because I didn't have the money I had nowhere near $800,000 to buy, 50, 60, 70 properties.
So you refinanced the properties and then bought them out and,
correct.
And gave them a nice return.
I gave them the return plus their down payment back. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Do you teach how to structure those deals?
I do. So I talk about scaling to like large portfolios to get past your first 10 units. A big mistake that a lot of people make is they don't reinvest the profit or the cash flow.
Yeah.
They get their first 20 properties. They go buy the Lambo, the Porsche, the other dumb shit. It just retards their ability to keep scaling.
Yeah. No, that's
So avoid that.
unless they already have a job or sort of a way to get money or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, if most people that I work with have like full-time employment, right? So they're able to invest some of that, or at least, $2,000 or $3,000 they can save up and buy a property every 60 days.
Every 60 days.
Yeah. That's what most people are able to do.
Every 6 days.
Yeah. If you're putting $5K per property, let's just say down payment of $3K, a couple thousand to fix it up, maybe $6K. Most people that I work with are able to, withhold $2,500 to $4,000 per month.
I think that's a good goal.
Yeah.
I think that's a good goal. All right, yo, let's we're gonna take a break.
Okay.
Because we're gonna bring in my boy Young Candlestick.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He's a market technician, right?
Okay.
All my trading, I run through Young Candlestick, man. He's helping me make a lot of money, man.
Okay.
With the market update. Let's get it. Yo, what up, man? What up, Greg? AKA Young Candlestick.
Oh, nice to meet you, Tom. I love
Hey, how's it going, man?
Section 8 real estate.
Thanks, man.
That Lambo yacht race was epic.
Y'all need to watch that video if you haven't already. It's on my
check it out.
YouTube.
It's awesome. Well, basically today in the markets, I'm just going to briefly break down the overall markets, talk about a few of the altcoins, the meme coins that have been going up, and then I'm going to be breaking down some individual stocks.
Okay.
So overall, S&P 500 up today, up about 1%, and it's up a little bit more after hours from Netflix earnings. And
Netflix killed it, right?
yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. But the last time I was on the Victory Talk podcast, I was saying, hey, this is like a false breakdown and we're coming back into the range. And so when that happens, short sellers get trapped and the market can squeeze higher. And so basically 590 is kind of that key level. So I'm going to be neutral into the end of the week, but then I am more bullish going into the next few weeks, the next few months. My end of the year price target for SPY is 650, which is pretty intense. It's updated from 610. Yeah, so that's the overall S&P 500. I also mentioned that you want to take a look at semiconductors, the SMH ETF. And if that's starting to bounce, which it is, that's going to be a bullish leading indicator for stocks. So if the SMH breaks all-time highs, we got a strong bull market ahead of us. Okay? Stocks like Google are making all-time highs. Pretty much every single time I'm on the Victory Talk podcast, I'm saying Google's my largest holding, and it still is.
Yeah.
It did do a little bit of a false breakout today. It might just go sideways before earnings on February 4th. Okay. Last time I was on the Victory Talk podcast, I said I'm buying this dip on TSM. That was back at 206, 205. Boom. TSM's up 7% from that entry. What's super cool about TSM is that it's respected the technical analysis really well. You got this flat top resistance. You buy the breakout, you take profits when it's overbought. If it comes back into the breakout area, you can buy again, take profits into the breakout. So you kind of double up that cash flow. And I am still holding a portion of my TSM longs. I think the stock can get to 260 to 280. Okay. So that's TSM. Now let's talk about some meme coins. And meme coins are super hot right now. And it's important to remember to not get caught up in the hype. Remember that sentiment tends to follow price. It doesn't lead price. And so sentiment is kind of like, how do people feel about the market? And there's a lot of hype, a lot of people saying, I got to get in this. That's after it's already gone up. When you're taking a trade or an investment, you kind of have to feel just a little bit uneasy about it because that's where you have the most margin of profit. So this is Trump coin. It looks like it just might go sideways for now, but if it breaks underneath $25 a coin, that'd be bearish. If it can really hold above like $47 a coin, then it can maybe squeeze. But when it comes to meme coins, if you have a good history of making good profits on meme coins, go for it. Me personally,
motherfuckers. Meme coins are like the casino. You go to casino to have fun. If you make money, it's dope. But you go to casino with money you don't care about losing, and you just, hey man, I'm gonna have fun with this money. If you win, dope. It's not even a casino. It's the strip club, right? You go there, you spending money to have fun. right? And you can get lucky. You can get lucky, but that shouldn't be the expectation, right? Because if you go in there with that expectation that you're gonna get lucky at the strip club, most of the time you're gonna leave disappointed. But if you go in there with the expectation just to have fun, and if something else happens, that's cool. But you go in there because you can get lucky at the strip club.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I heard
about the same percentage chance.
Yeah, you got about the same percentage chance of fucking making $1 million on a meme coin, and it might be higher at the strip club. So you're fucking with these meme coins. You're having fun. I feel like the same way about that, sports betting, anything like that. Have fun. You're spending money to have fun, and that's it.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. Because you're really just trading based off supply and demand. There's no real fundamental value. These aren't cash flowing assets like a Section 8 property or something like that.
There's nothing. They do nothing.
They do nothing.
They do like literally nothing.
Besides just price movement. So
yeah, that's all it is. It's the greater fool theory. Like, Yeah,
you're just buying, hoping that somebody else is going to buy and you can sell to them at a higher price. That's it.
Yeah, because at least with Bitcoin, I guess there's utility. There could be some utility, right? In Ethereum will do some shit. XRP will do some shit. I mean, how useful it is debatable, right? But they're at least claiming that it does something. This is not even claiming to do anything. This is just for shits and giggles. This is just for fun, man. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, strip club sounds like a better investment because at least you're going to have fun.
Yeah.
You're going to have fun. I'd rather you take your money and go to strip club because you're going to have a good time there.
Exactly.
You're on your way there.
I think it comes
I'd rather buy crack cocaine because we know that shit works.
And you can flip it.
You can flip that. Crack cocaine has utility. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you get some regular cocaine, right? And some baking soda, right? Then you can make that into crack. Now you've done doubled your money.
What's the difference?
Huh?
What's the difference?
Oh man, well here's the thing. Once you make cocaine into crack, right? Now it's less cocaine in it, right? Okay. So now you've kind of stepped on it. You diluted it, but it still gets you an intense high because when you inhale something, it's absorbed in your body at a faster rate than when you snort something,
right?
And so crackheads, they get a more intense high than a cokehead, even though they're actually consuming more cocaine.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, man. It's a crack arbitrage.
Miami math.
Yeah, it's a crack arbitrage. I've heard. I don't know anything about this person. You know what I'm saying? But
all I gotta say is I learned something new.
Yeah.
I guess my main point is whatever's making you the most amount of money, I would just double down on that. Do more of that than speculate on some meme coin.
Yeah, yeah. Or just if you want to do it, just think about it as fun, man. You just having fun, man.
Yeah. Manage your risk, like only put in the amount that you're willing to lose, or at least set like a level where if it breaks that level, that's your stop loss. Convert your crypto to cash. Pay all those gas fees, throw it into your bank account.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Another time we talked about XRP, this breakout of this wedge, and it broke out on volume. And that's just a simple setup. And XRP, since we talked about that last time, up 30%. I wouldn't speculate on it now unless like you want to try and buy all-time highs, but that's just something to consider. And also Elon coin just got launched. And if you're going to really do these cryptos,
when did that get launched? When did Elon coin get launched?
I think it might have been on the 19th.
Okay.
I'd have to double check my sources. But if you're going to speculate on these, be early. Don't try to be talking about it and getting in on it after it's already ran up, thousands of percent. So just a big risk management reminder on some of these meme coins. Going back to stocks, though, we talked about how XLE, the energy sector, is likely going to be outperforming in Q1. We talked about an XLE, this is like a safe, stable, risk off.
XLE, man. That's been my shit.
Yeah. And you get paid a 3% dividend a year to hold on to it. I'm not saying it's the best deal now. I think it might even go sideways or lower from here. We talked about how Q1 would probably be a little bit bearish, and it was, but it snapped back strongly for the SPY. This was a 6-week correction for the SPY. It was about a 5% drop. That's like a healthy little pullback.
Yeah, it's nice correction.
Brandon, you were on top of this sector. The XL, you were on top of it.
Yeah.
You're on top of it. You're calling out the bullish moves, and I gave this a neutral / bullish rating.
Well, which one are you on? I can't see the chart from here.
XLF.
I was just about to ask you about XLF. Yeah.
It's bullish, a little bit extended into resistance. So if it pulls back, not a big deal. XLF is still really bullish short term.
You gotta know that's the ETF that tracks the financial sector.
Yep. And the bank earnings have been pretty good. You can take a look at Goldman Sachs. They're up after their earnings. Come on, man. I talked about that's my favorite individual stock within the financial sector.
Yeah.
Wells Fargo's hitting all-time highs. You can take a look at JP Morgan, all-time
Berkshire.
highs. Yep. BRK/B. Berkshire looking pretty good. Yeah, looking pretty good. A thing that might be holding Berkshire back just a little bit is Apple.
They own a lot of Apple.
So Apple's kind of been dumping since it has a lot of bonds on its balance sheet, and the bonds, the TLT ETF, has been selling off. But since it's rebounded, that kind of helped the stock market rally and basically like, okay, you can get enough return for the risk you're taking by lending out your money to the United States government. Everything's all good. Okay, so XLE, XLF, ET, energy transfer. I've been talking about the wheel.
Yeah, that's my shit.
Yeah, we've been talking about leap call options down here at 16.
You called that out. Leap call options.
You can see it. It's on the YouTube video, leap call option video that Brandon has. So that was pretty cool. Some other trades that we took, sniped Nike Friday afternoon. Nike's up 3.3%. Bought it literally Friday at the close, at the low, and then sold today in like the mid 72s. So Nike, I like the stock moving forward, but it may take some time to digest its gains and go.
If you want to know more about the stuff we're talking about, make sure you join our free Discord, the Victory Unit. I have like a lot of free courses in there. I got a free fat loss course. I got a free money mindset course called Baller Mindset.
Oh, it's so good.
It's one of the best. Some of the best material ever digested.
I paid money for that. You should have charged me.
And it wouldn't have been enough.
It wouldn't have been enough.
No matter what you would have paid, it wouldn't have been enough. Yeah. And but I gave it away for free, man, because I'm a kind king. But also Greg's in there giving out, answering your questions on stocks, teaching you about stocks. And if you want to trade with us, Greg and I trade every morning together at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. And it was just when you're in the Victory Unit, just tell Greg you want to join Victory Trades and he'll put you in the right direction.
We crushed it this morning. Me, you, and all the Victory Trades members. Not a single losing trade on the swing trades.
It's pretty dope.
Brandon was calling out some good long setups. I was calling out some short setups. We made it.
And you could trade. You get Greg's, but
swing trade alerts.
His alerts, straight to your phone, man. So you can. When I get one of those alerts, I stop everything and I make the trade. You know what I'm saying?
I just want to say I'm trying super hard to be humble right now because this is the best start to 2025.
Come on,
17 for 20 on the trade alerts for the month of January.
I'm just saying.
I just want you guys to make money. I get great satisfaction from making people money. Like, seriously.
Cool. Yeah. And what else you got?
Even today, I was telling people in the morning live, hey, there's a really good chance that Netflix has a bullish reaction to earnings. Now, I wasn't expecting the stock to go up 15% after hours, but it did. And so any bullish trades did really, really well. They have record subscriber growth. This is double the expected move. So the options market tells you the expected range for a stock every single week. And it doubled that expected range. So when that happens, call options print money. Or any sort of bullish trade, you just kind of hit the max profit. So that's going to be a really nice win. And then lastly, I want to get back to our special guest, Tom Cruz. Much respect to you, Tom.
Thanks, man.
URA uranium sector is looking like it might be forming a bottom. This kind of looks like a double bottom setup. I need a little bit more time to confirm that.
Uranium, man.
Uranium to power.
What's going on with the uranium, bro?
Yeah. Nima, you're an expert.
He was just in Iran, man. What's been going on with the uranium?
I gotta make a call.
All right, you let us know. You let us know about the uranium market, homie. You know what I'm saying? Nima's our insider.
One stock that will have a greater beta or more volatility than just the uranium ETF is SMR. This is New Scale Power Corp. I'm thinking about selling something like the 23 strike cash secured puts. So I'll get paid to buy the stock tomorrow. I'd like to get something like maybe 40 or 50 cents in credit to agree to buy 100 shares there. But this is looking good. I think this stock can be wheeled for the next few months or years.
All right.
And so that's all I have today, unless you guys have any stocks you want broken down.
Nah, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. Thank you, Greg. Man, if y'all want to learn more about this shit, join our free Discord. The link's in the description. All right. Appreciate it. Let's get it. You have all your money in Section 8. You don't do no stock market, no crypto, meme coins, nothing.
I just get money and I buy houses. It's very simple strategy.
I like it, man.
That way I don't have to look at charts. I don't have to buy or sell. I just like controlling my assets, man. That's it.
No, you got control.
It's a very simple. I'm simple.
Yeah, no, it's working, man.
It's worked out pretty well.
It's working out really well.
Keep my head down. So, I mean, I had people telling me even 2 days ago, Trump thing, get Trump. I was like, dude, I'm sure he'll blow up, but I still don't want to fuck with.
Yeah.
What is it? Moonshot, and then you got to figure it. I just
don't
want to.
Nah, fuck that shit, man. Like if I was making $1 million a month,
I just have no incentive to figure it out. I'm like that 80-year-old trying to figure out an iPhone. I was like, I just don't care.
Yeah. What's the biggest risk you've taken?
Biggest risk I've taken? Buying my $20 million house. That's the biggest asset that I've ever bought. Yeah. So that's hands down the biggest. And it was like when I first got it, this was November of 23. So interest rates were like, when I first got it, I was at 8%.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just $100,000 a month. I mean, it was 10% of my net income. It was like just disproportionate. And then all the expenses that come with it. But after a few months, you acclimate and you just like, holy shit, I'm in a $20 million house. Yeah. But that's the biggest risk.
It's a nice house.
Thanks, man.
It's a really nice house right on the water. You got like what's that, a canal? It goes into the ocean.
It does have a canal in the backyard.
Yeah, he's got a canal in the backyard and goes on just where he parks his yacht. It's $5 million yacht. And you got another boat just for wakeboarding, right?
I do have a wakeboarding boat, yeah. I have a super nautique.
Who drives that when you wakeboard? Your girl?
My captain.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Does he live on the boat?
He does not live on the boat. He's got a house nearby, but he's on the boat every day.
Oh, every day.
I have a whole crew. I have a captain, a deckhand, a stew, an engineer.
How much does that cost?
Annually between all of them, the captain's I would say about $600,000 a year.
How much you pay the captain per year?
I'm not gonna say his exact salary.
Okay.
But typically most captains make $1,500 per linear foot of the boat per year.
Oh,
so my boat's 100 feet. You can do the math.
Right. Okay. If there's any Asians watching, I'm sure y'all did that for us. Y'all did that math for us.
Yeah, but it's $40,000 to $50,000 a month just in crew costs, and then operating at maybe another 20. I probably spend $75,000 a month just for it to float there.
Wow. Yeah. And how do you put gas in a yacht?
You can do it 2 ways. We have a fuel barge. They come to your house and they just plug it in and
just deliver the gas.
Deliver the gas, yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can go to a marina, or they have a truck. They'll come in and bring it to your driveway, and they run a hose all the way to the backyard. So we've done it every different way.
What's your preferred way to gas up your yacht?
The barge, because then the truck's not blocking my driveway and I can get out. But yeah, they'll come through the channel. They'll connect the hose. It takes an hour and a half from empty to fill the thing.
Really?
Yeah. This is a 2,600 gallon tank.
Yeah.
It costs around $12,000 to fill it.
Really?
Yeah, from empty.
Wow. And how long would that? How would that last?
She burns full wide open 300 gallons per hour. So she burns around, I think diesel right now is $4 a gallon. So call it $1,200 an hour to run her.
Oh wow.
Full of wide open. But normally we cruise. She's probably burning $1,000 an hour in burn. But yeah, I mean that's the typical. That would last 500-600 nautical miles. Yeah.
What's the longest trip you've been on?
I took it to North Carolina.
How long did that take?
That took 2 days. But it was just, we stopped along the way. So it's fun because then we go from Miami to like West Palm to then we go to St. Augustine, Fort Pierce, we go to Savannah, we stop in Charleston. So we just kind of like stop and fuel and chill and hang out.
I remember when we thought that hurricane was coming through. What did you do with the boat?
So she goes up the river.
Okay.
Yeah. So you go up the Miami River, like way inland, and then there's like a concrete dock for her.
And you have to pay for that every year?
Yeah. So I prepay for that in January for the hurricane season. So just so I have a spot there. So you're basically paying for nothing for 6 months. If you don't need
it's
it.
like insurance.
It's an insurance. It's an insurance
yeah. I remember you put 2 of your cars in my parking spot.
Yeah.
You drove it. Where'd you put the other cars?
Some of them were just left there. I just took the most expensive ones and put them
Got it. Why do you need 10 cars?
I don't need 10 cars.
Why do you have 10 cars?
Because I can. Why do you have 6 watches?
Touche. Which one is the most expensive?
The Phantom is still most expensive.
How much is-
725,000.
Oh, that's more than a new Lambo. Yeah.
Lambo is 700,000 even. That's the Revuelto. Yeah.
Which one do you like the most?
Man, it's tough. I drive the Phantom the most because it's the most comfortable. It's the most insane. It's bright blue, and it's a fun car to just drive around because no one really knows what to make of it.
Yeah.
But now I've been driving the Revuelto a lot just because it's new.
And
That'll get tired, and she'll probably just wither away in the corner.
I was in that. It wasn't as loud as and obnoxious as your old Lambo.
Yeah, the V10.
Yeah. It was like
because this one's hybrid, so the V12 still sounds good, but it's not as throaty as the V10.
Yeah, that shit was. I really love it. You know, I like the sound.
Yeah.
You know, because I have sensitive ears, man.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
sure
know
you
I don't know if you know that about me. All right. What advice would you give to somebody who's thinking about getting into Section 8 real estate like you?
I think you just have to commit. I think a lot of people make the mistake of bouncing around. You know, they I want to do Section 8. Cool. Let me start looking at that. Oh, well, the Trump coin just got dropped. Oh, well, Amazon FBA has a course about it. Oh, I want to do NFTs or I want to do, and then they just never end up doing anything. So I would say save up, 7 to 10K, try it, buy your first property, see what it's like when you get that wire every month without doing quite literally anything. Hire a property manager. It's very cheap. They're going to charge you 10% of the rent that you're going to get anyways. And then once you get that first property, I think it's an addiction. After you get that first one, it's like, I want to keep buying more and more and more.
How do you go about finding property manager?
I have a network.
Okay.
So all the major Section 8 markets that we buy in, we already have property managers that you can use.
You link your students up with them.
Yeah, I'll just refer you to them.
Yeah.
So that's the typically the best way.
And you also have students who help other students find places. Like what are these called? Like I guess they're doing wholesaling. Yeah. So we have students that wholesale. If you guys don't know what wholesaling is, it's basically when you find a property, put it under contract for, let's say, $70,000. You may not have the money to buy it. You don't even have a few $1,000s for the down payment. So you find someone else that can buy it, and let's say you offer it to them for $75,000. Yeah.
So you keep the difference between the $70,000 that you put it under contract for, and then you're assigning it to somebody else for $75K.
Because I got my first place from one of your wholesalers. Yeah. I gave him some bread.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So he just basically gets a few $1,000s for their assignment fee.
Yeah. So
he did the finding and gets cashed out.
That's what's up, man. How do you handle taxes though? That is a question.
So the most simple answer, I have an accountant and a tax advisor, but more logistically, I try to do everything that I can just to keep the income as low as reportably possible. Right. So I have a foundation, so I contribute to my own nonprofit foundation.
Yeah.
I buy cars that are over 6,000 pounds because there's still some benefit to it. Hopefully now with Trump in office, he'll go back to 100%, bonus depreciation, or 179, whatever there's going to be. What else do I do? I reinvest a lot back in the business. I spend a lot on systems, processes, on the education business. I have software developers, so I have, somewhat of a payroll that I use for that. I travel quite a bit. A lot of it can be, written off as well for legitimate travel. Yeah. Can you write off the boat? The boat it's a charter. I charter it. So she's chartered several times per month. So you can write off a majority of that. How much it costs to charter your boat? 10,000 per day. 10,000 per day. That's it's light. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It comes with the captain and all that. Oh, it comes with the whole thing. That's fuel included. I think drinks and water and stuff. Okay. Yeah. That's not bad. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's up, man. I might have to hit you up, man. Next time I'm trying to do something. Yeah, but that's a big deduction. It's a huge deduction. Yeah. So you write off 100% of it? No, because I have very public social media, me using it personally. So we write a percentage off of that, like actual business use. I got it. So it's not 100%, but it's still on a $5 million yacht. plus also the monthly expenses, it still turns out to be a pretty decent deduction.
Got it. Okay, you got a girlfriend now, really nice girl. I met her before. She's dope. You know what I'm saying? How did you deal with the gold diggers once you started making enough money where you had to deal with it? At what tax bracket? I mean, not tax bracket. At what income level did you have to worry about the gold diggers?
I think it's just really when you start accumulating stuff, right? I mean, and especially because I've been very public about it in social media. Like it's part of the whole, Section 8 guy rule.
Yeah.
So I would say probably around 200,000 per month is when I started buying enough like flashy toys where it started drawing attention from the wrong girls. That was when I was still in North Carolina, right? So it wasn't as much, and I wasn't prepared for it in Miami. Because like they're not subtle about it here. I've had girls that I went on first dates asking me to pay for their rent for the year on the first
Really?
date. Oh yeah. I had one girl I went out on this date with, and went well. Everything went good. I get a text from her, like it was towards the end of the month. It was like the 28th. I'll never forget this. This is like summer of 2023 when I first moved here. And she was like, hey, I just realized that rent's about to be due, and I'd broken up with my boyfriend like 2 weeks ago, and he normally took care of that. Can you just pay the rent? And I was like, because I'd never been in North Carolina, right? You get like a nice wholesome, Southern girl in North Carolina.
A little Southern bit.
Yeah, this is my first Latina that I dated. I was like, this is crazy.
Mucho peligroso.
Yeah. and I was just curious. I was like, what's your rent? And she was like, well, my rent is for $4,000, but I don't know how long I'm not going to have someone covering it. Can you just cover the rest of the year? At the time it was like 6 months. She wanted $25K out of me.
So you wanted $25K after one date?
Yeah, one date. Yeah.
Damn.
So that's Miami.
Yeah. Well, how'd you respond?
I just didn't.
Yeah, you just left it on red.
I just did not. I screenshotted it and sent it to every person that I knew.
Yeah.
And like all the ones that warned me about dating in Miami. And I was like, dude, it can't be that bad.
Yeah.
But there was girls that there was one Brazilian girl, and I was going on a date with her. And there was like a really nice Brazilian, steakhouse down in Miami Beach. And I was like, hey, let's go check that one out. And it's like not a 5-star restaurant, but it's not Golden Corral. It's still, probably been $500 for both of us. And she was like, I don't have anything to wear to that restaurant. Was her response on Hinge when we were talking about it.
Okay.
I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, I only have attire for like Poppies or Mila or Carbone. I was like, I'm sure you do. So she got left on red as well.
She got left on red
but,
as well.
it's just funny how that works.
Yeah. Listen, man. I ain't had that experience because I brought my girlfriend down here from New York.
Yeah,
I literally I said, man, I got some sand here in New York. I'm moving to the beach. I'm gonna bring my sand with me, and it worked out well. I think that was the right response. I think we got some super chats.
You think that was the right response?
No.
We have the Freedom Movement. Eric from Chicago. Shout out to BBC for linking me up with Tom Cruz. I'm in a position to get 6 investment properties. Tom is the real deal.
Hey, that's what's up, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Shout out to you, man. If you guys want to get like motherfucking Eric from the Shy, then you got to join our free live training we doing on Monday. All right, it's going to be me and Tom. We're going to walk y'all through how to buy Section 8 real estate. He's going to put you on the whole game, really give you the inside track on how to do it and how I got my first properties, man. I spent $2,500 on my first property, man. We're gonna show you how y'all can start getting it too. All right. Yeah. Click that link, man. All right. What else we got?
We have TP Media TV. Small content creator trying to get seen. So I blessed you.
Oh, that's it. Hey, man. Fuck with TP Media TV. Thanks.
Every time.
All right, cool, man. Shout out to you, brother. All right. How do you deal with the competition in Section 8 real estate?
There's no non-pretentious way of answering this, but the markets that I'm in right now, there's just no competition. I know all the agents. I'm buying cash. I know what I'm buying, so I don't do inspections still. Like for a lot of the properties, I'll just do them afterwards. Yeah. So we're able to close on properties in 3 or 4 days. So if I find a property and it's not under contract yet, more than likely I'm going to win that. And I also have the flexibility now to expand and try out new areas, so if for whatever reason an area does get too hot, so cool, I'm in 3 other markets. I can go and, look for properties there. When I got started, I just did whatever I could to differentiate myself. Right. And if you don't have a ton of money, or if you don't have a ton of resources, or and you still want to get in, it's all how fast you can get to the deal, right? So time is of the essence when you're dealing with real estate. If a property comes on the market, or if you have good connections with a real estate agent, they can tell you about a property coming to the market and you can make an offer first. Most of the time the sellers are going to want, a deal in the hand is better than, one in the bush. So that's always the case. So that's how I won a lot of my deals early on. I would just be on MLS. I would have alerts set up. I would be ready to make offers. I would keep cash liquid whenever I could and just say, hey, here's my proof of funds. Here's, what I'm ready to do. Let's put it under contract. So that's really the best thing you can do is be fast.
Does your software shows does it help with that side of it?
Yeah. So we're doing notifications now, push notifications to your phone. That's something that, because you can actually, we're getting to the point where you can modify and set your thresholds on what you want to be alerted on. Okay. But right now it's still in beta. Okay. But I think probably by mid-February it'll be live.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah. Man. Awesome. And what's the most challenging part of being in Section 8?
Most challenging part, it's always based on the upfront work. So everybody loves, to talk about passive income, and passive income doesn't exist until you start putting active work in to get it passive, right? And that's what most people always like to skip over. They think that it's going to be passive on day one, and that's not a reality. Unless, like we talked about, you go dump $10 million into some, dividend bearing stock or something, which even then it's still to be determined exactly what you're going to get. But setting up the team, finding the right property. I made every mistake in the book. That's why a big reason why I set up my mentorship program, my software, and do one-on-one, because I chose the wrong property managers. I chose the wrong partners. I chose the wrong tenants. I chose the wrong everything when I started. So, and there's a lot of setbacks, like, oh shit, I have to evict somebody now. So all that stuff is part of it. But the hardest single thing I would say would be figuring out how to set up property management teams that really made your life easier, right? Having the policies in place, the right software in place, because if you don't get that right, you'll be managing managers for the rest of your life.
And that's something you're going to show them how to do that on the
we'll talk about that on there as well.
That's what's up. That's what's up. What out of all of your students, tell me, who's your most successful student?
I have a student with about 500 properties.
Wow.
His name's Jackson. He started with me 2 years ago when I started developing the course and mentorship. I think he already had maybe 30 or 40 when he started. Okay. But they were mostly Airbnbs and other types of non-Section 8. So I helped him figure out Section 8, and then he started making offers on portfolios. He started buying 30, 40, 50, 100 at a time with seller financing. Wow. So he would do what you were talking about doing on one property, but he found somebody that would, seller finance 95% loan to value on the whole thing. Really? And that's how he was able to scale.
How much money is he making now?
I haven't talked to him in probably 6 months. Man, he's probably doing $200,000 a month net.
Oh wow. Yeah. Oh, because he's not making as much
because he has debt on him.
He has debt. Yeah. 200,000 a month is fantastic.
Yeah, especially because he has, I think, 4 full-time property managers on him. So
wow. So he has this. What's the difference between just hiring somebody and having your own property management? Do your guys only work for you, right?
My guys only work for me. You have a lot more control. Yeah. So if you have a property, if we're both using the same property management company and I have 100 properties with them and you have one and a tenant becomes available, who do you think they're going to give them to? Right. So you always have that competition when you use a property management company. But it's still the cheapest and most efficient way of starting. You just got to stay on top of them.
This is a good question in Section 8. I'm sorry, in the super chat. And I think you can answer this. I pretty much know what you're going to say, but I want to hear you say it. That new super chat that just popped up.
We have Yaz Banks. What's up, fellas? Does NYC, New Jersey have a good market for Section 8?
Yeah, so the first thing you want to consider when looking into a new market is it a good landlord-friendly state, which New Jersey and New York are not, right? If you have a bad tenant, or if you buy a property and there's a shitty tenant that came with the property, which happens quite a bit, getting rid of them is a nightmare in New York, right? It's going to take you months to get rid of. It's going to take thousands in legal fees, and they just have too many rights there is what it comes down to. But when you're buying in areas like North Carolina or in the Midwest or the Southeast, I can get a tenant out in 10 days for $200. Yeah. So you can't really mess up too bad with your tenant selection because you can get rid of them very quickly. Yeah. So to answer your question, New Jersey, New York, Massachusetts, California, all these areas that don't have good landlord friendly states. And also you have really high taxes there in New York and New Jersey. You're going to have high insurance rates. The properties are going to be more expensive. You don't want to buy in areas like that.
Yeah, and that's a misconception. He probably lives in that area, and he thinks he has to buy Section 8 properties or buy properties in geographically.
And you guys don't have to do that. That's a big misconception that most people have. Like Brandon, we both live in Miami. He's buying out of state. You guys are going to have real estate agents. You're going to have FaceTime. You know, if you want to look at the property more closely, you're going to have home inspectors. You're going to have everyone that's going to be helping you buy those properties, and you have to use them.
Well, no matter where we live, we're buying. No matter where when these students live, we're all buying in shit states.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're all buying in shit states. Like we're not buying.
I would say more secondary, because the state itself doesn't necessarily have to be shitty. Like I think North Carolina is a great state, but there's like shitty towns there that are smaller, because you're not going to buy in Charlotte or Raleigh, right? These are huge up and coming cities, but there's secondary and even tertiary cities that might only have 100,000 people that have a low median income that could be great for Section 8. Yeah,
and that's one thing, man. Like, so I've never been. You know, I don't go to these states that we're buying them, but I don't have to. I can do it all remote.
Yeah, and that's the best part about it, is that you're going to be able to buy these units remotely from, you know, wherever you live.
Yeah, you started buying places next to you, close to you, but you felt like you found that was a bad idea.
Yeah, so I started buying in North Carolina, but eventually, you know, a lot of the units got gentrified and the property values got really expensive. So then I kind of had to start looking elsewhere. I got priced out. Once you're not cash flowing anymore, it makes no sense.
Yeah,
because all that matters is cash flow. We're not buying on appreciation.
That's another thing. It's not about appreciation. It's just about income.
You can't buy a Lambo on appreciation.
Yeah.
So
you know what I'm saying?
It's only cash flow. So you need to focus on cash flow, stability, condition, location.
Yeah. How many? Well, I guess you already answered. So you expect the first year, if somebody's in your program, they're buying every 60 days, they should get 6 units by the end of the year.
Yeah, and that's with like minimum income or minimum cash available. Like I talk to people that have $100,000 and we can go buy, 20 units in the first month. So it really just comes down to how much cash you have to start, how much time you want to put into it. How much
net income does the average unit
with seller financing?
Yeah,
if you're putting, let's say, $3K down, you're probably going to be in that $400 to $500 range.
Okay. If you put more down, like 10, 10, 20,
$600, $700, $800.
Got it.
So obviously, the lower the loan, the more the cash flow.
Got it. So 500, man. So if you get like 20 fucking places, now you're bringing in, what's that, like $10,000 a month?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And all this can be scaled really quickly. If let's say you max out your 20 or 50K and you find somebody else, now you build a partnership and now you're buying properties with their money.
Yeah.
And then you buy them out. So that's how I did it. Because I knew that I wasn't going to buying one property per month was never going to get me to where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Right. It's all about scaling and using OPM and creative financing.
And you just have to build a track record.
Yeah. Buying your first 3 to 5 properties is the most important, because then you can prove to other people that you have the financials, you know what you're doing.
After 5, then you can start bringing on partners.
Then you can bring on partners, yeah.
How come you haven't? Well, I mean, I guess I know why, because it's working out so well for you. But have you ever thought about like starting like a fund or some shit like that? Or
I have. The reason I haven't actually gone through with it is because I didn't want to deal with all the SEC regulations. I didn't want to deal with the legalities of it, and I just didn't want the pressure of it. Right now, I have no partners. I have no one I'm accountable to. I wake up when I want, do what I want. I have no reporting to anybody. And the difference, man, honestly, and this sounds like, it's first world problems. The difference between $1 million and like $2 million a month, I can get a bigger boat. I can maybe actually start justifying spending $50,000 on a one-way flight to Vegas, So for me, it's all about lifestyle, being able to live the life that I want, have the time and control that I want without giving a fuck about anyone else. Is really the main key.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, you figured out a way to make it. You kind of did that, just not on that level, like with all your partners.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I did. And I could easily right now put out a story or something to my 1.4 million followers on TikTok. Hey, I started a regulation, I think it's D fund, and I could probably raise $10 million in a couple days and then go out and buy $50 million in properties.
Yeah.
But now I'm beholden to everybody. Now the pressure is on to buy that many properties, manage, maintain, deal with that many properties all at once.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to put their money in and then wait years for me to buy it.
Slowly,
yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. All right. But I'm just thinking, let's say somebody was super creative and they could do something like that to get
Oh yeah, I mean, anybody with a following that has trust and authority, they could easily do that. Go buy a few properties on your own, and then open a fund and just go out and give them equity share and however much money they put in. Go out and buy properties, and then you can buy them out. You can do the same thing, buy them out, give them a nice return that's higher than the S&P 500. Occupy all the properties with Section 8 tenants, because then you force the valuation of the properties to get much higher.
Yeah.
So that's how I would do a cash out refi based on that valuation.
And you would do it on each house.
I put it into a portfolio, because then you can do a commercial cash out refi.
Got it. No, I like. Hey man, I'm just saying the wheels is turning.
Oh yeah, there's always some ways to make money. That's the beautiful part about Section 8 is there's a million ways to make money with it.
What's the most creative thing you've seen?
Shit, when I got started, I was quite literally putting a property under contract that I didn't have the money for the down payment for, and then wholesaling and hoping I can close the wholesale deals before the end of the month.
Oh wow!
To fund the down payment on the 30th or the 1st the following month. And a lot of times I didn't. So I'd do like a cash advance my credit card to get the money at the ATM or wherever to use that as a down payment on the property.
Wow.
And then pay it back with the cash flow. So I mean, you have to get creative, man. Like
you teach wholesaling, because I know that's where you get to start
as well.
Talk about that, because that's somebody who doesn't have money. They should still maybe, and they want to get in this. Is wholesaling a good way to start? Yeah. So wholesaling just takes time, right? So you do need a little bit of money, but it's like less than $1,000. But basically, it's when you find a property that's distressed or has been sitting on the market for a long time, and let's say it's listed for 70 grand, and let's say you offer 62, right? And you put the property under contract. Well, now you have time to go and find a buyer for the property, because you have the right to assign that contract that you have it at 62. Let's say I bring it to you and say, hey man, this house is really worth probably 75. I have it under contract for 62. I'll give it to you for 65. So now the difference between the 62 and the 65 is $3 grand. That's the assignment fee that you would give me. Then I assign the contract to Brandon, and then you go and buy the property. And you still got it under the $75,000 market value of it, and you still, you're ahead. So really, you just got to find a property. It's almost like a finder's fee if you think of it that way. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And I guess if there's somebody's in your program, there's a lot of buyers there. That's how I found it. Yeah. I wasn't like searching through shit. We found a wholesaler, and he hooked me up. I gave him some bread, and then we ready to go. So do a lot of students do that? Do they join your program and start fucking with you just for the network, like wholesalers? Not only that, but I have a lot of real estate agents that I work with. They're in there for the networking opportunity as well. Lenders. I mean, I kind of work with everybody, but yeah, I mean, we have a bunch of people in there that are buying properties, and I would say probably 70% of them do seller financing and like lower down payment, creative financing strategies. And the other 30% are buying with like banks and more traditional methods. You do calls with your students? I do monthly group calls. Monthly group, right? That's what's up. If you guys want to learn more about this, man, because there's a lot of different ways to make money in this Section 8 shit. We're doing a free training on Monday. Make sure you're there. I'm going to be there. It's linked in the description. I'm going to be there. Tom's going to be there. We're going to break down how I got my first properties. Tom is going to be talking about how he started and how you guys can really get this shit popping. He's going to break down all the game, go over the software and everything. How much did it cost you to build this software? Man, it took me a year, probably 300 grand to build it. 300 grand. Yeah, I mean, designing it, developing it, and then we also had to create the mobile versions on iOS and the Android platform. Not an app, but just so it works on and we created apps. Oh, really? Yeah, there's a mobile app for both devices. I didn't know that. Yeah. Damn, I need to download the app. You can download the app, Section 8 Pro. Oh, shit. Yeah. That's what's up. And what part of that was the most expensive on the software side? I would say the initial development of the map and all the functionality around the actual like filtering, because we were grabbing from so many different data sources, APIs, and some of the off-market sources we're scraping data from. Yeah. So configuring all that was the most expensive. You found some. How'd you find the nerds to do it? I use a site called Upwork.com. Okay. So it's just like a freelance site. I first started in the Ukraine. And I was having Zoom calls. This was like a while ago. Yeah. And he was little bombs and shit would be happening. I was like, dude, I can't do this. So eventually I found a guy in San Francisco, and it was a lot more chill. There's bombs going on in the background. Yeah, actually. He was like, dude, we got to move like in this area. It's just getting fucked up right now, because that's when the whole attack started. Yeah. So I had an employee who was working out there. Yeah, it was chaos, dude. Yo, he was like, half the time he would go to the camera on. It was, like, how are you developing out of that? That's crazy, man. All right. So how's Miami been treating you? How long you been living here? I moved here
spring of 2023, and then eventually got my house in October of 2023.
Oh, so you moved here like a little bit after me.
Yeah.
But
it's awesome. I mean, I love Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically everything that I expected and more.
Mm.
Big part of it's just like yachting. I love being on the boat. I'm on the water basically every weekend. So that's a really big, you know.
In the summer, you're on there every day, wakeboarding.
Oh yeah, we're wakeboarding every day in the summer. And now I started e-foiling. That's fun.
Whoa, what's that?
Think of it as like a wakeboard that's on the water, and then below it is like a wing, and then you can float out of the water.
That's that shit Zuck was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's actually a lot of fun.
Is it? Is it more difficult?
It's very difficult. Yeah, it took me probably 2 full days to even like be able to figure out how to stand up on it.
Yeah, it doesn't, because it doesn't look like it's disobeying the laws of physics.
Yeah, it's a really weird feeling. Getting up on the board on the water is easier, but it's when you try to get up out of the water, it's just a whole different. It's not like snowboarding, it's not like skateboarding, it's not like anything that's relatable. It's just a whole different feeling.
So it's the same thing. It's following a boat.
No, it's electric, so you can use it without it. Yeah, it's fun.
I thought it was following a boat.
No, like you can do that as well. There's like regular foils, and you can like get dragged behind the boat on those as well.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but we wake surf, we wakeboard. Yeah, if you can be on the water on it, we have it.
Why'd you decide to have a girlfriend instead of just, listen, man, making $1 million a month in Miami, man? You know what I'm saying? Not everybody would have made this. I get asked that a lot, so I wanted your response.
I mean, I'm 36. I want to start a family.
Okay,
so
that's a good reason.
I had 20 years to fuck around, so I've gotten that mostly out of my system. I've been independently rich for probably 5 years, so
yeah,
it's been just good timing.
It makes sense. It's easy. You avoid,
and I found a non-Miami girl, which made it even better.
But she's from LA.
She's actually from Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but she lived in LA for 2 years before Miami.
Then got the hell out. Yeah. I heard 50 Cent say, he said that the Hollywood sign is held up by the bones of hoes.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, that's what 50 said, and I take him at his word. I
don't have the inside scoop like you do.
Yeah, man. I lived in Queens for a while.
Yeah.
You know what it is. Tell them why they should jump on this free training.
Yeah, so the free training that we're going to be hosting is basically everything that I taught Brandon on getting started with Section 8. So you're going to be learning the same strategies. We're going to go through the software together. I'm going to show you my property management software as well called Cruise Control. I'm going to show you more in-depth on the deal finding software. I'm going to show you my buying criteria. I'm going to give you a whole overview on how to get started with Section 8. We're going to go to the top 3 Section 8 secrets. We're doing a live question and answer. Brandon and I will answer questions together. And then obviously if you want, to join the mentorship with me one-on-one, you'll have an opportunity at the end as well.
Yeah. Listen, I got a lot of rich friends. I think you're my richest, right? I ain't seen everybody's balance sheet, but I don't think anyone else is making $1 million a month net, right? Not net at least.
Consistently.
Yeah, consistently.
With no work.
Right?
Brandon can call me at literally any time.
Tom will call me up like, man, I'm doing shit. He's always got free time, right?
Yeah.
What do you think are like some of the habits that impact you the most to get to where you are right now, especially at such a young age?
It's a good question. I didn't have any type of crazy routine, right? I never woke up at 4 a.m. a day in my life. I've never done a cold plunge. I hate running. I was skinny fat up until like 3 years ago. I
remember you got your trainer.
So up until then, I was just very undisciplined personally.
Yeah.
I just focused on buying properties. So like a habit, like an actionable habit that I did, which I think a lot of people don't even bother doing, and I kind of did this by accident, is I literally got a spreadsheet. And when I bought my first property, I just put the property address on there, how much it was cash flowing, and just kind of like a basic rent roll, right?
Yeah.
And then I would just highlight it in green and just say, hey, this is the first property that I got. And then I would go and add like 5 more properties that I wanted, and I'd make those yellow.
Oh.
And then I'd make offers on them. And then like if the property rejected my offer, I turn it red. So that way I've had a visual chart of like my progress.
Yeah.
And it's something super simple and stupid, but there's nothing more motivating than when you have like more and more properties turning green as you closing on them. And it just gives you a goal to do. A lot of people don't physically write down their goals and like what they're wanting to target.
Yeah.
So it's impossible to ever hit a target if you don't really have it written down.
Yeah.
So that was just like a big habit and kind of like psychological. And I still have that spreadsheet. It's just kind of, just in a Google Drive somewhere. I don't do it anymore. But at the beginning, I was like, man, I want to get 5 properties this year. These are the properties that I want. I make offers on them. cool, 2 under contract. Now I need to put, 3 more on there. So that's just the way that I was able to kind of leapfrog. And then you can see, oh, this is what happens when you bring outside money in and partners in. Oh, this is what happens when you do creative financing. Oh, this is what happens when you're an idiot and you put 20% down on a property. Yeah. So that's how I tracked my success and progress.
You built that into the Section 8 Pros. So.
Yeah. So you have that now too.
You want to show them?
Yeah, we can do that.
Because I need to learn how to use that part. So this is kind of just selfishly for me. Because when I first got access to all this, I just called you directly more so than that, but it'd be cool to see.
So if you guys come in a deal calculator, you can basically add a property. And then once you add it, it'll just add it to this like basically spreadsheet list. So you have a property name, current rent, purchase price, and then the market rent, basically what Section 8 is. That way it's going to show you what the current financials are and also the potential financials. So this is kind of like a version that I had on steroids because mine was very basic. This actually gives you like calculable numbers and you can see the projected cash flows for each property. But that's basically the portfolio manager built in here as well.
Yeah, so that same thing you're talking about is in the thing.
Yeah. So that's just an extra way of being able to manage, the properties.
That's fantastic. And you know what I like, man? You said you focused on one thing. Yeah. I see a lot of guys, they're trying to do too much simultaneously.
Yeah.
It's
and
difficult.
I think it's typical because I think there's a lot of pressure on a lot of people to succeed. Every time you scroll on TikTok or Instagram, everyone's balling, everyone's winning, everyone's a millionaire. So, and I was in the same position, like, go back to 2015, 2016, like I was making $40,000-$50,000 a year. Yeah. Like I was doing, wholesaling. I was doing my marketing company. I was just trying to put enough money together to buy properties. So it's just one of these things where you have to trust the process.
Yeah.
As corny as that sounds.
What if somebody doesn't know like shit about real estate?
So you just have to learn.
There's
no other way around it. It's a combination of learning, and I don't care if you buy it from me or learn from me or not. Find a local mentor, pick up. There's even like probably community college class on real estate. Yeah. Go learn something about it. Don't be a real estate agent. That's not going to really teach you anything on the investing side. It'll just be mostly a waste of time.
Massive waste of time.
But learn first. Unless you have a metric fuck ton of money that you can burn on trial and error, and I don't recommend it because it's just gonna be frustrating.
Yeah,
you can have the money, but you're not gonna have the time, and also the stress that's gonna come with making the wrong decision.
Yeah. What? I know you don't work hard now.
Yeah.
Right. But how do you feel about like working hard? People say, man, you got to work harder, not smarter. Like, what's your take on that? What's more important?
I think working hard and smart is overrated. Because I know a lot of people that work hard and smart and they still make 20 grand a month. It's like they're stuck in there. I always say work profitably. So my strategy the entire time that I can't remember, I can't take credit for this, but there's expression was basically if the outcome is not income, do something else.
Yeah.
So that's basically how every day I looked at my schedule. Like, oh, okay, I could easily be going out and looking at new property managers, or I could easily be looking at, a new property management software, but none of that's going to really make me more money.
Yeah.
What's going to make me more money is me sitting my ass in that chair and picking up the phone and calling real estate agents and making offers on properties.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people can work smart all they want, but if they're working smart on a thing that's not profitable, you're fucked.
Point, man.
And everyone here in this chat, all 140 of you guys, you, me, we all know that like everyone we know works hard.
Yeah.
And they're all still broke.
Well, I know some motherfuckers who don't work hard.
Yeah. So there's neither of those are really the strategy. You just have to work on something that provides the most amount of value at the most profitable level.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of what I chose. Every single thing that I would do made money. And if it didn't, I just either delegate it or I wouldn't do it, or I would just maybe do it on the weekend when it wasn't like as mission critical.
Yeah. When you say everything you do, you mean everything you do in life or
that too.
Yeah.
I mean, I would really look at that. So, and obviously when you make more money, it's a lot easier to say that. I'm not going to go make my bed. I'm not going to go cook my food or clean my cars or put gas in my car, because all those things are so menial, low income activities. Right. Yeah. So it's much easier for me now to just farm that out. And now I could use that time to buy more properties, but I don't,
but at one point,
I did. Yeah. And that time really adds up, so like who's got time to fold laundry and do all that shit? So it's just one of those things where as you're able to scale and grow your income, the sooner that you can farm out these non-productive, useless waste of times that everyone just takes as like, well, that's just what you got to do. You're an adult. It's like, no, you don't.
You don't.
You shouldn't be cleaning your house. You shouldn't be washing your cars. You shouldn't be doing any of the shit you don't want to do. focus on using that time to
get
more
money.
Income. Yeah.
Yeah. You fucking.
But you actually have to get income. Like you can't, because a lot of people go and do it and then they'll go watch Netflix for all day.
Yeah. So. Broke people spend time to save money. Ballers spend money to save time.
Exactly.
You know, even when I was still struggling, living in Queens, right? I would still have someone else do my laundry.
Yeah.
I still have my groceries delivered. I still hired somebody off TaskRabbit to clean the crib.
It's easy to say that now because we both make millions of dollars. But even if you just look at it on a much smaller level, you know, from when you're getting started, most people have this scarcity mindset. Oh, I don't want to get a property manager. I did the same thing. I was self-managing for like the first, like I said, bunch of units. I don't want to get a property manager because I have to pay them. I don't want to have to get a housekeeper because I don't want to, you know, I can make my own bed. I can do my own laundry. But when you sit down and you're like, holy shit, like I could have added 2 extra hours to my day,
bro,
that could have been spent, you know, focusing on building a net worth. Then it starts making sense.
And it's not even just the time; it's also the mental resources or the energy. Right? Like if you, I remember during the pandemic, I had to clean my crib, right?
Yeah.
And then I was wearing an Apple Watch, and it was like sometimes it's like, oh, you working out right now?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm burning a lot of calories cleaning up this crib because the pandemic. It was it was early, and but even when I was broke, I would do that because I was working like multiple jobs. And when I had like time free, I didn't want to spend it doing domestic shit.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I want to spend this on what I'm really trying to accomplish. So I pay people to do all that other shit, you know?
Yeah. And that's really, I mean, that's a big key to success early on.
Yeah. Leverage, man. You got to have bravery to use leverage.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Listen, guys, we're going to talk about all that and more. And y'all can ask us questions. It's going to be Monday at 8 p.m. All right.
The link's in the bio.
Links in the bio.
Ask that.
Yeah, the link is in the bio.
In the description
in the description. Same shit. All right. Make sure you register because the class will fill up. So register now. Do not delay. All right. So you got any closing words?
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate everyone coming on here and listening to us talk about Section 8.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about making that first decision. I think a lot of people make the mistake as well of sitting and listening to these podcasts and absorbing all this information and knowledge and experience and then never doing anything with it.
Yeah.
So, you know, the next step that you're going to do is going to decide if you're going to be in the exact same position in 2026, you know, with no assets and very limited income, frustrated at your job and, you know, super pissed off that you have to wake up early tomorrow at whatever time you have to get up to go work. So just buy the first property, man. When you buy the first property, that's the only catalyst you're going to need to build the portfolio. Because if you can buy one, you can buy 500 like I did.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, this has been another episode of Victory Talk Podcast. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thursday, we're going to go real deep into crypto stuff. I'm going to have a special crypto guest. So y'all don't want to miss that, man. I'll let y'all.